Hey guys, welcome back, and I made another video because I feel like there isn't really many videos covering all the information about Universal Studios Horror Nights. So if you guys are considering or you guys are going, this video might be useful to you guys because you guys are going to learn a couple tricks that aren't common sense, because I've watched other videos where they talk about, tips and tricks about, Universal Studios Horror Nights, and honestly most of them are pretty darn common sense. So hopefully these ones are a little different for you guys. I'm going to keep it short. So Universal Studios Horror Nights is probably one of the most expensive attractions there is out there, and with good reasons. It probably has the most awards, it's most recognized in the United States, and most iconic, and little known in California. And honestly, I think it's worth the money. However, you have to consider that there's a lot of expenses to be made. So one of the things you guys have to consider is parking. Generally, if you look at parking, you're going to see, oh look, after 6 p.m. it's like half off, or it's a lot cheaper. And that's not the actual price. It's actually, if you look down closely, it will say that that price is not valid on Horror Nights days. Usually Horror Nights days, prices for parking is $28 and preferred parking is $35. So here's my tip, just get the $35 one. I know it's $8 more. Honestly, trust me on this one, guys. Just get preferred, because for $8 more you will save your feet. Most of us, normal people, unless you're like a robot or something, your feet are going to start hurting at night, and once you guys have to go back to your car, you're going to be like, man, there is so many, more steps I have to get there. And a lot of people park there too, so when you guys have to get out, it's going to take a lot longer too. I think it takes you an extra like 20 to 30 minutes to even get out sometimes, because it takes that long for you to get out of the park to your car and wait for all the traffic to get out. So definitely, honestly, just get preferred. Buy your tickets online. You could go in as early as 6 p.m. I'm not sure if they announce it too much. I already know that from the top of my head. I think that's mostly every single night. However, one of the things that I will let you know about this is that honestly, you have to be there around 5:45, and then going to all the security, and you should probably be there at the door at 6 p.m. as soon as they're opening. One of the things that I will say though is that if you do get there earlier, you will miss one of the ceremonies they have when they first open the park. But honestly, the trade-off is definitely a lot better. And one of the things you guys have to consider too is that, one of the things I did, and was a mistake of mine, is that I went for the rides because I really wanted to go to that Jurassic World, the new one they opened. And I really wanted to go to it, but I ended up regretting it.
The reason I say this is when you enter the park early, you get an orange wristband that lets staff know that you're here for Horror Nights early admission. And when I looked around the line for the Jurassic World ride, I realized two things. The wait time was around 30 minutes, it wasn't really small, and also, other people didn't have a wristband. This meant that I actually wasn't competing in line and actually trying to get in line with people who are here for the Horror Nights event. Rather, I was there competing in line with people who actually went to the park, the actual day park, during the day. So if you got a chance to actually enter the park early, do yourself a favor, don't go for rides because you're going to end up competing with general admission from the day. Instead, go to the mazes because the wait times will be shorter and you'll take more advantage of your time. And also, the rides tend to thin out in wait time a lot later towards the night. So if you really wanted to go to Jurassic World or maybe go to the Transformers ride, those lines will thin out a lot later towards the night. So something I didn't cover in my last review was food. And honestly, food there is pretty darn expensive and you're probably going to get hungry. So do expect that you might fall into temptation because you know what? It happens to the best of us. Now, if I were to tell you that the food here sucks, I would be lying because the hot dog that I got, I think it was around $13.99. Honestly, it's worth the price because it's really good. But it's nothing extraordinary to the point where I'm like, okay, you can only get this at Universal. It's truly unique to this place. No, it's pretty sure it's almost everywhere, but it's really darn good. You will most likely encounter and most likely buy food at these stands that I'm showing you right now because they are very common. And these are the average prices that most things will cost, so kind of get a rough estimate of how much you're going to spend. There are two things I would highly discourage you guys from buying, and those are snacks. The snacks are overpriced, and by the time you end up paying it, might as well just get a full meal, honestly. And the second would be, do not buy alcoholic drinks there, because I heard someone in line say, well, they're kind of watered down, and you know what, I was like, maybe it's just a rumor. But after having one, I could confidently tell you that yes, they are extremely watered down. And that's coming from the guy who gets a good buzz from those fish bowls that they give out at concerts. So take that measurement estimate however you like.
My other tip to you guys is don't take the wait times too hard, because honestly, you have to take them with a grain of salt because they're estimates, because sometimes they don't even update that stuff. Because I went on a maze where we were kind of like, man, this maze is going to take like an hour, but we're going to soak it up because we really wanted to go on it. And it ended up being like 25 minutes, like a huge difference between, what the time estimate was and what it wasn't. And then we went to another maze and it said, oh, it's only going to be like 10 minutes. And we ended up waiting like a lot longer than that. I think it was like 30 minutes or so. And I was like, wow, like I didn't even like that maze so much, we waited that long. So take the, estimate times with a grain of salt. If you really...
For my last piece of advice, and this is for those who are going to get general admission mostly, is go in this mentality where you're expecting not to go on everything and you're going to try to go as many things as you can. If you go maybe to like 4 to 5 mazes, that's a success. And you're probably saying, that's crazy, I could do a lot more than that, you never seen me, I'm Speedy Gonzalez. Well, hopefully that's the case, because I went in September, and September on a Sunday, it shouldn't be as packed as you think it should be, but honestly it's still really packed. Now imagine October. October usually fills up a lot. I've been probably 2 times in October, and I'm gonna tell you that I didn't get to do a lot, and I have some experience going to Universal Studios Horror Nights, and honestly the lines get really packed. Do expect maybe 1 hour wait time sometimes, so try to get the most as you can, but do expect at the same time that you're not going to be able to do everything with general admission. Also, side note, I know this advice is super common sense, but believe me, you'd be surprised. Get a map, and also don't waste time trying to like go for mazes from upstairs to downstairs, because those stairs that I'm talking about, the really long ones, those take forever to go up and down through. So just try to finish whatever section you can, whether that's the upper section or lower section. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this advice was good for any beginners who are going, and most importantly, stay tuned and subscribe, because most importantly, I'm going to review Dark Harbor soon, and there's a lot of crucial information that I have to tell you guys about Dark Harbor 2019 that's really good, really bad, and really ugly.